Welcome to the fourth installment of Right Women Back into History 2015. Today I'm going to talk about ways you can improve the quality of articles on Wikipedia that are about women. The Wiki Women's Project has done a great job quantifying the quality, or rather the lack of quality it would appear, in a lot of Wikipedia entries. That's why, as part of the Right Women Back into History, I'm encouraging people to do a little bit of improving. One of the easy ways you can do this is to work with citations. Harder ways involve adding information, which we're going to cover in another video. But so what I'm going to talk about today is, well, how can we deal with an article like the one we've been using, Women Strike for Peace, which has already been flagged as having a problem with its citations, right? It's not claiming that the information is wrong necessarily, but it doesn't have the correct kind of citations, and that makes it vulnerable. And in fact, I would have gone further if I had flagged this, because once I got down here and started looking through the links, these don't even work. I do not even know what this website is. The Nation, yes. Yes, these are all proper kinds of sort of sources that would meet what I would call a reliable standard using the Wikipedia language, right? And so what we really need to think about is, what are we doing here with a woman's obituary as the major source of information? One of the things we know is that people are going to follow the footnote trail in Wikipedia, so we want them to go to good, reliable, scholarly sources in some cases. So it might be appropriate for it to have one to Dagmar Wilson, who is the woman who started Women Strike for Peace, but not all of them. Wikipedia is neutral on the format you use for your references, but this is not going to fly, right? I'm not really clear what this is. These resemble no known citation format. So I have another video that shows how to use the citation templates inside Wikipedia to create the references. But another thing I want to show you is over here within Wikipedia itself. There are quite a few tools that help to generate. One I use all the time is for Google Books, because really, for me, that's what I want to drive people to as much as possible, right? A New York Times reference generator exists. In this case, though, these references are not in a consistent format. Now, Wikipedia doesn't care if we use APA or MLA, so you could use this to regenerate all of them. So this would be a multi-step editing process. One, you want to create all uniform formats, which these are not in. Two, you want to increase the quality. So you want to get rid of these, which go to dead links and aren't actually properly sourced. You want to get rid of this, which I can't even figure out what that is. And I would argue you probably want to combine these obituaries into one, and then find another source that you would like to use. One of the ways I teach my students to do this is to just go over to Google Books, right? Because we know they're going to have a ton of information in there, and we're going to type in, and we know we want Women Strike for Peace. I'll put it in quotes, right? Here, for example, instead of using Dagmar Wilson as the sole voice, we could add in another woman here. This is the sort of main history of the group, which has already been used. We can see some links, which we may or may not be able to see, to their own archival materials. We can find a reference here in another book to them. Here is some information about a periodical that they apparently published. That might be something that we'd want to add in or attempt to locate online to use for additional information. So that would be both content that we might want to include to improve the article as well as the citation, right? Here's another book from 2002. Another book from 1996. So you can see there are many books that we could use to source the information. And oftentimes, as I go through and look at these books, so for example, up here we had one from 2002, Women Who Speak for Peace. Women, they were part of the Ban the Bomb movement. If you watched my earlier videos on creating links, you notice that the phrase, whoever wrote this, used repeatedly was atmospheric nuclear testing, which in fact is exactly what they were trying to stop. But if we want to improve women's strike to peace, we're going to want to include things like ban the bomb, the 1963 partial test ban treaty, right? And things like that, so that we can create more connections between these things which are acknowledged as historically significant and this group, which has been given a lot of credit by some historians for creating change, but which in this Wikipedia entry perhaps is not necessarily being reflected, right? So, for example, you can see here movement for a ban on nuclear testing. We might want to add in, quote, to ban the bomb. We might want to rework some of the sentences that talked about atmospheric nuclear testing to reflect this other language. And then we would cite this scholar as the person who credited them with this. This is a little more difficult, admittedly, than doing the other tasks I've shown in prior videos. If you're going to do this and you find wiki markup language difficult to look at, which would not make you an unusual person at all, I sometimes work in a word processor or in a notepad and then cut and paste my changes into here, add the references either with the templates, right? Check for named references, check for the error check, right? And then when I'm done, pop on down. And as always, remember, you got to say what you changed. I always watch the page and then save it. I hope you're getting excited for Right Women Back into History, the second week of March. I know I am, and I can't wait to see what kind of changes we're able to make in Wikipedia. Look for more of our videos. Follow the hashtag WWB in the numeral 2H. Thanks.